Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the TIZZ Talk Podcast. This is my podcast, but it's not only my podcast. I got my co-host, Toowoketogobroke, on the line tonight. And he's got me, by the way, guys, I'm sipping on some Ron Zacapa 28. This shit is so delicious. What's up, Toowok? How you doing tonight?
Shit, man. Nothing much. Looking for that Ron Zacapa sponsorship, man. I pitch that shit everywhere I go. It's like, come on, man.
And it's like, you know, Ron Zacapa, cut the fucking check, son.
Send me a t-shirt or something.
Or a hat.
Yo, a nice
or a bottle.
Yeah, a bottle. That's fine. Whatever it is, man. I'll wear it. I'll rock it. I'll rep it.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Now, yeah, Toowok put me on this Ron Zacapa, dude. This is some sweet, really nice, smooth rum. You really just need like 2 ice cubes with it. That's it. Like, don't put Sprite in that shit and fuck it up, TIZZ fam. Okay?
No, don't mix Ron Zacapa. Get the 23 and then all you got to do is see what Ron Zacapa does. It's a little different. Is he puts some aged 23-year-old. He has some 7-year-old in there. He has like.
Oh wait, you sound like Jeffrey Epstein over here right now.
Well, at least I started with 23. You got multiple aged rums mixed together, so you get like different different ages have different pluses, different minuses, and they balance them out perfect, man. And
it's really good. I honestly, you had mentioned it in a previous podcast. I couldn't tell you which one it was. It was like probably a few months ago, but I was at the liquor store the other day, just celebrating some successes in my life. I just felt like it was a Friday. I wanted to go get some scotch because I love scotch. I'm a scotch guy. I love scotch. I like bourbon. I love a good single malt, like 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, whatever aged scotch. But I was walking down the aisle and I see Ron Zacapa. And I'm like, I've heard of that. And sure enough, I literally called you at the liquor store. I said, yeah, what was that shit called? And you're like, Ron Zacapa. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at it right now. It's only $38.
it's the best price from there's for the quality, you know. I mean, you can buy
great rum for hundreds of dollars if you really want to, but
this one dude
honestly, this is really good. I've had a lot of rums and this is awesome.
It's delicious. Good. It's really good.
And I've never been like the rum's never been my number one choice, but when I went or spent a lot of time down in Costa Rica, like that's what they drink. And you know, rum down, in that part of the country or the world, not country, they don't call it rum. They call it Ron.
Yeah, exactly.
Ron is rum.
It's actually, Zacapa, you got Ron, Zamoya, you got all these Ron, Centenario, you got all these different Ron named rums. Exactly. It just means rum. You're right. Yeah. Yeah,
that's what they call it. I mean, like straight up. I mean, it is. But anyways, I saw it in a little liquor store.
I think of Ron as Heron, you know, because of just so sipping Ron, I would think like that would be like sipping drink or something. But yeah, sipping.
I mean, you know, it is. It's that dirty brown color, like Heron.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we're kicking out the show tonight, guys. Ron Zacapa, cut the fucking check.
Yeah.
But we love your product anyway. Anyways, I am your host, Chucktizz. It is July 1st. It is officially summer. And when I say it's summer, it is city boy summer, aka white boy summer, whatever the fuck that means. And I'm pulling this from an article, TIZZ fam. Okay. Like I got this. I don't even, this is some fucking Gen Z shit. Like, I don't even know. You know how
and see, is this like a counterpart to the hot girl summer? Is this what this is? Okay.
Yes, okay. It's 100% exactly what it is.
And ladies, be careful because hot girl summer leads to single mom winter.
You're actually the statistics on that are probably actually really accurate. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just break this down for you real quick because I've heard about this shit. I got a brother who's 19. I hear all this stuff. I hear this hot boy summer, hot girl summer. Then I hear, white boy summer hot boy summer. But they changed it to City Boy Summer, I think, because I think there were some issues with calling it Hot Boy Summer for some reason. Anyways,
white. You mean issues with calling it White Boy Summer?
No, well, I think it started as White Boy Summer, and then there was like Hot Boy Summer, and then it's now the proper name is City Boy Summer, whatever the fuck it is. City Boy Summer, also known as Hot Boy Summer, is a male-centric counterpart to Hot Girl Summer. Though, where Hot Girl Summer tends to celebrate female solidarity and good looks, City Boy Summer tends to focus on men acting mean-spiritedly towards women, particularly ones they are dating or seeing socially, according to knowyourmeme.com.
So apparently Chet Hanks started the White Boy Summer.
So here's the origin. I was going to go into that. City Boy Summer was launched in response to Hot Girl Summer. I think that was like a 2016 thing. Launched by Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee, T-H-E Stallion. Obviously, that is a made-up name. Tweets about City Boy Summer began seeing spread starting around June 6, 2019, after rapper Future, the mask off, or mask on, whatever, because it's a gray area, as we spoke at last time, announced a new album to be released on June 7th. Twitter users felt the music would provide a quote unquote City Boy Summer alternative to Megan Thee Stallion song Fever, which I don't even know what that is. For example, Twitter user at GatorPA, is that like someone from Louisiana or some shit?
Maybe Port Arthur.
That would be shocking. Maybe. Small town. Text now. Shout out UGK. Tweeted in anticipation of Future's album, saying it would make summer 2019 a City Boy Summer. Shown below. Now, I can't show you this meme, but it just says City Boy Summer, Future coming to save us all, and it's like a picture of like Game of Thrones or some shit. Honestly, TIZZ fam, this shit is so fucking stupid. I'm not going to read all of this because it really is that dumb, but I'll harp on some points here. When, in your opinion, too woke? I mean, seriously though, I
just think it never ends. You know, you go from white, hot girl, or what was it? Hot girl summer, and then that turns into Thottum.
Thottum. Yeah. Got a couple thoughts.
Yeah, that goes into Thottum, and then I'm sure we can get Pimper Winter. I mean, I don't know what goes down in
Pimper Winter. Oh, I like that one. Hey, we might need to cut that out and save that, like claim that shit. Pimper Winter. That was a good one. That was a great Pimper. I haven't heard that before, so.
Well, I just made that one up.
I know you did. You always just coming up with shit on the fucking fly.
I did not make up Thottum, but that is good.
No, I know you did. I know what Thottum shit is. I know these Yeah. Yeah, thought she, but I've heard it. Who taught who really harps on that is the Stiz, so the silent or invisible S. Shout out to the Stiz for not joining the show tonight because he was invited. I'm calling you out, Stiz. Or
let your balls fall. That's what we're gonna call it. I mean, guys, if you want to get down, you can get down any time of year. We don't need seasonal, titles for it. But if that's what it takes for you to get out there and do your thing, then, so be it. But I don't like anything with boy. I never have been besides the hot boys, from New Orleans. I never.
You can't beat that, or the ghetto boys.
But men just shouldn't be saying boy. Yeah, exactly.
Ghetto boys.
Ghetto boys. That's fine. But when you start talking about hot boy, summer,
city boys, summer boys,
to use another,
they're running around wearing their bird dog shorts.
To use another like Gen Z term, it's a little bit sus. It's just a little bit sus to me to be saying hot boy summer.
I mean, it's more than sus. It's fucking lame, guys. Like, come on, like, get off your fucking phone. Get off your fucking Instagram and like claim it. This
it's
whole
cringy.
It's like the whole we're all vaxxed, waxed, and ready to relax. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, that is such a Gen Z thing, and I can't blame them too much. I mean, shit, they fucking live that life. I mean, like, it's everything they do in life is literally social media. I mean, not to say that what we're doing right now is not a type of social media, but it's not like scrolling up and down. I'm not 100% hating on it. I mean, I think some of it's comical. I steer away from it, man. I am so sick of Instagram and Facebook, and I never really got into TikTok.
Instagram's dead. Look, Instagram's
it's a bragging platform, and I can't stand it. It's all everybody on there just wants to show what they're doing. Hey, I'm out to eating.
Well, I got a question for you. Okay, I got a question for you. If Women's Fitness Magazine, okay, I don't know what Women's Fitness Magazine is worth, but I bet you it's not worth all that much money.
I mean, are magazines, do they even exist anymore? But
Instagram has pretty much just turned into Women's Fitness Magazine.
For the most part, but you also have a bunch of douchebag guys. Like, I see their stories.
Yeah, and so
they're like, oh, look at this car that I'm driving that I know it's not theirs.
Yeah, you're renting. Quit flossing things that you're renting.
Yeah, it's a bragging platform. Get the fuck out of here, guys. Like, sir, I'm calling all of you motherfuckers out. I can name people straight off, like 20 fingers, 50 fingers if I had them. I'm not gonna do it, but like, quit. It's a bragging platform. Quit fucking bragging. No one wants it. No one cares. No one gives a fuck.
Now I'm seeing straight up sponsored posts of just women's fitness. It's like, dude, we get it. You're wearing a bikini, you're in Tulum, Mexico. We get it.
Who cares?
We
all go on vacations and shit, but like,
you're doing
okay. We don't all go on vacations, but I mean, bro, we grew up in an era when this shit didn't exist. Like, we went on a snowboarding trip or whatever trip. We just went and did it and took whatever fucking photos we could off the shitty phones we had or fucking, the ones you had to take.
I didn't take photos. I never took photos.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm getting at is like, we didn't take photos. We just ran amok and we have the memories to live by. Now everything is like, hey, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's a bragging platform. That's all it is, man. That's what it's turned into. Now, I remember Instagram, when it first came out, it was all right. It was like people posting pictures, like some decent food and stuff. And that still happens. But now I can't even scroll through. I stopped. I don't even get on anymore. The only time I do is when I post TIZZ Talk.
No, look, Instagram is dead as disco.
TikTok
is the only live media right now that is the social media that is living and growing and and of interest at all. I mean,
and it's so funny you say that because I don't have a TikTok account.
TikTok is actually pretty dope, man. I won't lie
I've
to you.
seen it because of Instagram. They have
and guys,
Instagram
like,
reels.
if you get on it, you're gonna be like, "What is Toowoketogobroke talking about? Is he perving on?" No, you have to click give it a couple days of clicking like stuff that's actually interesting and good, and then you'll get past all like high school girls and college girls doing their shitty little dances. And then
guys, I just want to say something real quick. I wish, look, when this thing goes to YouTube, this is awesome. I can lean back in my chair. I got this new mic boom. I'm literally just laid back in my chair and the mic is right in my mouth. I love this shit.
Nice.
Can you see it? Can you see my video?
Oh yeah. This
shit is fucking chilling, dude.
Laid back with this.
And you can see the TIZZ Talk above me. You get everything, dude. It's gravy, baby.
It's looking like white boy summer over there.
Well, you mean city boy summer?
But yeah,
I'll take hot girl summer over this city boy shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. It pertains to everyone. That's what the men have to realize is if it's hot girl summer, then just be happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, cause the whole point is,
hey man, name it whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna call it Ron Zacapa summer, man.
Yeah. The summer of Ron.
The summer of Ron. Sounds kind of pedophile. Like a pedophile, but
how's Ron sound like a pedophile, man?
The Summer of Ron. It's like a horror movie. I don't know. Summer of Sam.
I've never met a pervy Ron. Ron's a party guy. I feel like Ron is like.
Well, I was just going off Summer of Sam.
Ron's like a good old redneck, or like a party guy, or like I imagine him like.
Yeah, I know.
Hanging out with Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. Cheeseburger in paradise. We said that on that one show when fucking Slim Reaper showed up too. He needed a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But no, I mean, I just wanted to get it across. Like, look, this shit's been going on since 2016, maybe even 2015 or 14. I don't know. But it's gotten so out of control. It's like, dude, and I got a brother who's 19, almost 20. And dude, I mean, he's living in Austin. He's living this city boy summer life. I know he is.
Yeah. Well, let's not front here. We know that if City Boy Summer was invented, then we know who invented it. Do you know who? Soulja Boy. I mean, Soulja Boy invented every damn thing.
Well, you sure it wasn't Nick Cannon? Fuck Nick Cannon, son.
Soulja Boy did everything first, man. That's the facts right now. That's one thing that we've.
But let me ask you why you say that.
Because it's like, you remember that meme back like a couple years ago when he's like, Drake.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, basically every time they were.
Soulja Boy has never. Not that I'm the biggest fan of Drake, but I do respect some of his music. But like Soulja Boy saying anything negative about Drake, it's like that. I mean, Soulja Boy is a joke.
But see, his point was valid though. Like one of Drake's first hits was just a straight up. But he just straight up stole the melody and basically the lyrics from Soulja Boy, and it was that was that whole Drake. It was that whole video of him on Breakfast Club talking about shit. Now you're calling me.
Was it an interview or is it a music video?
No, he stole it, but it kind of came to light on this Breakfast Club interview, like. He was like, Drake stole my whole flow, and then he was like singing the lyrics and it was like the exact same thing.
Yeah, but you could say that about Future and Migos. I mean, I mean, they're all, rap these days. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big hip hop guy, but right now, my two, number one, I've always been a Weezy guy. I'm always a Weezy fan, but right now, I'm pretty big on him. I've always been Eminem. When I say M, like Eminem.
Yeah.
I've actually listening to Eminem lately, his new shit. It's brought me back to his old shit, and it's brought me back to some of the old Dre shit.
Yeah.
I've been digging that shit a lot lately, and a lot of these like.
My problem with him right now is I mean, don't get me wrong, his metaphors have been just crazy lately, and he's just been rapping so fast, and he's got crazy metaphors, but I just can't really listen to him multiple times. Like I'll hear it once, maybe twice, and then I'm like, I'm done. It ain't some shit that I just keep on playing. You know what I mean? Like,
see, I understand that, and a lot of people can't. I can tell you that I unfortunately do, because I just can relate to the anger.
Okay.
That he spits out.
Mm-hmm.
Because not that I'm a mad person, but I can relate to some of that shit. Now, but he's just he's very lyrically talented. I mean, you can't take that away from him.
Oh, heck no. Yeah. I mean,
he's got to be, as far as lyricists, he's one of the best.
Yeah. What was that?
I'm not calling him the best, but he is definitely one of them.
Yeah. I mean, full of venom and rage, especially when he's engaged.
I mean, dude, he put Jay-Z to shame on that track back in 2003. Renegade.
Yeah.
It was Jay-Z's track, and Eminem had two verses.
He murdered him on his own beat.
Yeah, on his own beat. I mean, it was insane. I mean, like, guys, if you guys haven't heard Renegade, it's on Jay-Z's album, and Eminem absolutely just like, they weren't battling, but like Eminem's verses were so good, they're still relevant today, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, it's
depending on how you want to look at it, the situation. So, guys, if you haven't heard Renegade, go fucking listen to it.
Yeah, I ain't a politician, but let me kick it to these kids for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I ain't no politician, but he goes on, and he goes, go to war with the Mormons, take a bath with the Catholics in holy water. No wonder they tried to hold me on a long arm. I'm motherfucking spiteful. He's just a beast. I mean, he just doesn't. I like that. I like the attitude, because, he went through some hardships, man, he with his family and stuff. And he just, especially when that song came out, when he was not sober. I mean, he was like, fucking go to war with the Catholics, take it. Yeah. I mean, no wonder why they try to hold me on. I'm a motherfucking spiteful, delightful, the new Ice Cube. Motherfuckers hate to like you. What did I do? I'm just a kid from the gutter making this butter off these bloodsuckers because I'm a motherfucking renegade. I mean, dude, I am no lyricist, guys. I respect him, because, he had to deal with a lot of shit. And not that anybody doesn't. Anyways, we've gotten a little off topic on that.
I got a nice, speaking of pissed off, a lot of people are pissed off at Robin Hood still. And
we got the articles for that.
We got now Robin Hood is under a trading probe. They're being investigated. And here's my favorite thing. The Robin Hood CEO's phone is being basically subpoenaed under SEC Department of Justice, which is going to be great, because this idiot was probably texting everybody the real reasons why they were doing it, not their business bullshit line they were feeding everybody. And look at this picture, guys. If you're going to pull up this article, it's Fed seized Robin Hood CEO phone as part of GameStop trading probe. I mean,
I'll try and drop a link. If I can't drop a link in it, it's easy to find. Go on CNBC.
But look at this picture of him in this interview, bro. This is what you call the new school man, and it's always fuck the man, And
there's there's three articles. But
I'm talking about Feds, the CNBC.
Right. But they're all tied together.
He looks like motherfucking one of the Beatles got a job on Wall Street, dude. Like, fuck this guy. Yeah,
it's like a mix of like the Beatles on Wall Street with the dude who did WeWorks,
Yeah, man. He just looks like he looks out of place, out of touch. I mean,
what's up with that? That's got to be the most ridiculous haircut. I mean, what kind of person in a position like that cuts their hair like that? Look
at his tie, bro. You can tell he's stressed out, man. Look at that tie. It's not even fitting.
Is that a double Windsor, or is that just a single?
It looks like a really messed up.
It looks like he didn't even fucking tie it right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to even tell what it is because he tied it so poorly.
So if you want to see this shit, just go to cnbc.com and just type in Robinhood. There's 3 articles. So this all happened today, but there's
Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood's phone was seized by federal attorneys in one of the stock trading app company's many legal battles. It revealed in its IPO filing on Thursday. Basically, they're being investigated for all sorts of things, but the main one is GameStop. Them shutting down GameStop trading while it was going crazy, and they're acting like they're protecting investors, when in actuality they're protecting hedge funds that they work with, as well as themselves potentially.
Because they're the house. They're the house because Robinhood, just to let all of you retail traders, and I trade on Robinhood, I do, but they are the house. Like, so you got to be careful. Now, I think they learned their lesson in a sense. Who knows? But
I don't think so. I think the minute another meme stock goes too crazy, they'll shut it down again.
Do you really think that? Do you really think that? Because like they just got fined in the next article.
70 million.
7 million, the highest ever.
But that's nothing. Like they raised
nothing to them.
They raised over $1 billion in one night in order to
still a lot of money.
Yeah, but to them it's nothing. And
to them it's nothing. I get it. And they're trying to IPO themselves.
If they're gonna prevent themselves from a liquidity problem, they'll take a fine of $70 million. 6 months later. Of course, they're gonna take
that because they got billions of dollars of customers' assets.
The kid didn't handle himself well during the interviews, during the entire process.
I mean, how old is this guy? Is he a kid?
He looks young. Vlad Tenev. He looks like he put on his dad's suit and tie and showed up for this meeting.
That's how I used to show up to court like fucking 12 years ago when I was, getting in trouble with the law back in, when I was a dumbass.
But Robinhood says it cannot assure investors a meme mania won't hit it again. Well, then what you need to do is
get off Robinhood.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone needs to.
Well, Weebles, they had their problems too, though.
That's why you got to switch to Fidelity. They're the only ones that didn't shut it down, man.
No, I think TD stayed strong. Now I know TD just recently had some issues.
They did a little bit, but they weren't as bad as the others. But Fidelity. No,
I'm talking about recently, like within the past 2 weeks.
Okay, what with AMC or something?
I heard a story about a guy. It kind of brings us back to the story about that time I did that credit spread or the Iron Condor last summer where I didn't close it and I was off and Robin had said I owed $35,000 to them.
Yeah.
Well, this guy on TD apparently owed over $1 million, supposedly. He was negative buying power, like $1 million plus. Now, he was on a spread. We're not gonna get all deep into this shit, but
no, but he was spread thinner than Hot Girl Summer. I mean, that's how much.
Yeah, spread is basically you're safe, like you're capped. You're capped. You cannot. Now there are instances where if you don't close your position over a weekend or something, that you can get fucked in a sense, like in after hours. I've heard of it, but at the end of the day, what ended up happening is Robinhood basically what they do and what Webull does and all these, they like with especially with their crypto market, they have a wallet of cryptocurrency and price it to where they think it should be priced at. And so if you want to get into Robinhood and get into fucking crypto or anything like that, like you're buying it at their price, not the market, not the actual market.
No,
price.
Go get on Coinbase, go get on crypto.
Yeah, go get on a real crypto
Get on crypto.com. They're the best ones, man. Like even Coinbase has pissed me off. Get on crypto.com. They have a ton to trade. They'll get you hooked up quickly.
Well, it's because they don't have a wallet. It's an exchange. So Robinhood holds a wallet of crypto, and you're buying it from them.
No, I know, and you don't actually own any coins. So what you need to do
you're just being a speculator on the side.
Well, just go, which is just helping Robinhood make more money on your ass because they're shaving points. But you need to just go on crypto.com is the best one I find so far because they'll get you approved like within 24 hours. I got on Binance.us. It took like 2 weeks to get approved on there.
Same here. And I didn't.
Crypto.com within 24 hours, you'll be trading. It's beautiful.
No. Yeah, you gave me that code. I just they actually gave me a bunch of free crypto coins or whatever the fuck.
Now Coinbase has like little courses, and you can literally just hit next. You don't even have to watch the videos. You have to take a little quiz, but all the answers are the same on every crypto. They all act like they're different, but once you've taken one quiz, you know how to answer all the quizzes. But anyways, they'll give you like 3 or 4 or 5, like usually about $15 to $20 of a coin at a time, which is kind of cool if you want to learn a little bit and make a little money.
If you want to stake like a crypto coin, you can't do it on Robinhood or
no. But anybody's interested in staking already knows that anyway. But
right. I mean, you got a bunch of ideas, but the one thing. Go ahead. No,
go for it.
I was going to say to kind of just slice this off. I want to finish. There's 3 articles on this, so I'm going to finish up. Robinhood has 18 million accounts with 80 billion in assets after rapid growth. IPO filing shows Robinhood is about to go towards an IPO. Now, this seems contradicting to me. If you think about it.
Why?
Well, why? You going to buy Robinhood's IPO on their platform?
Well, just like every other IPO lately, you're not going to be able to buy any. It's going to go through to the moon before you can even buy a single share,
No, Robinhood just opened up IPO access to anything. That's a new thing they just did.
No, I know, but you won't be first in line is the point. Like you'll put in, say it IPOs at $100. You'll put in at 100, 120. The first time you can actually buy it, it'll be like $175, $200.
I understand that. But here's where it's fucked up. You're trading on a platform that you want to.
Well, you can do that currently. I mean, you can do that with TD Ameritrade. You can buy their stock.
Are they public?
Yeah, they're public. I mean, it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing.
Yeah, but Robinhood's just. I mean, let me just read the first 2 paragraphs. Robinhood Market filed for one of the most anticipated. Sorry, I take these fucking sunglasses off. Anticipated. Just fam. I have to get closer to the screen.
I think we already covered it.
No. I'll cut this shit out. Right? Robinhood Markets filed for one of the most anticipated initial public offerings of the year on Thursday, revealing rapid growth resulting in 18 million retail clients and more than $80 billion in customer assets. Unlike many recent IPOs, Robinhood was profitable last year, generating a net income of $7.45 million on net revenue of $959 million in 2020 versus a loss of $107 million on $278 million in 2019, according to Robinhood's S1 filings with the SEC, if you could actually believe that. However, the brokerage lost $1.4 billion in the first quarter of 2021 tied to the emergency fundraising leaded losses during January's GameStop trading mania. The company generated $522 million in revenue in the first quarter of 2021, up 309% from the $128 million earned in the first quarter of 2020. Options trading accounts for about 38% revenue, while equities and crypto are 25% and 17% of revenues, respectively. The brokerage aims to raise $100 million in public debt. Robinhood plans to trade under the symbol. Let me give you this: HOOD on the NASDAQ. Hood.
Trading in the hood.
Trading in the motherfucking hood, dude.
I'll give him that. That's pretty tight.
That's pretty legit. I kind of like that. Because
what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing right now is they don't really make that much money. They don't make as much as I thought. These guys, if they're going to continue to be so highly leveraged on certain stocks, then they're going to get themselves into big trouble, especially once they're a public company. It's sort of
when they go public, it's over. First of all, I don't think even if they don't go public, they'll pull this shit again.
Oh no, they have to. They'll have to. By law, they'll have to.
Well, no, not by law, by saving themselves.
But that's part of your fiduciary responsibility when you're a publicly traded company.
Right, but they're not public right now. And
but I'm just telling you, when they go public, your number one responsibility is to shareholders when you're a public company. So if that's what it's going to take to help the stock out and save their own ass, they're going to do it over. They'll do it as many times as they have to.
Well, when they're public, I mean, they lose a lot of control.
Now, when they're if they're only making, generating a net income of 7.45, well, that 70 million is actually a lot more than I thought it was going to be. That's basically 10 years of.
Look, Tim, I'll tell you right now, I have like at least 30K just sitting in Robinhood right now because it's a bank account. I have their debit card. It has a routing number. It has a fucking account number. I can pay bills with it. I can go to an ATM and pull my money out. As soon as I close a position for a profit, it's immediately available for me to swipe and pay bills with it. It's crazy. Yeah. And the reason I did that is because, honestly, fuck Bank of America, fuck Chase Bank, fuck all of these guys because they charge you just to have an account. Robinhood actually, this is the one thing I like about Robinhood is you can put as much money in their account as you want. And though they're going to pay you, I think is it 2.5% interest on all the money that you hold in their account. Now, other banks make you pay to have a savings account or a checking account. So why the fuck not? And you can use any ATM anywhere. It doesn't matter. Every ATM is applicable to the Robinhood card.
I'll tell you what, yeah. I see some issues here with Robinhood, and
there's big issues. I'm not saying it's completely safe.
In a down market, if we had a decent crash, I don't care if it's 3, 4, 5 years from now. Kind of interesting to think. I mean,
which is probably.
They're going to have to dilute their shares, or they're going to have to sell shares off to cover, because say, you have all these retail traders for billions and billions of dollars. They don't have all that great a positive cash flow. Well, say the market takes a big dump and all these people have to pay losses back, basically, that they, with money they don't have. All of a sudden, Robinhood can have a big problem on their hands.
You talking about margin call?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It happens. I mean,
and if they can barely handle something going the wrong way with like a GameStop.
No, well, that's the thing. No. That's the thing. Now I'll tell you this right now, because I trade AMC options or whatever all the time. Not really GameStop, but it's 100%. Like you cannot use margin on AMC.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, imagine when all these people are holding options, just random options, and the whole market shifts in the opposite direction of what's expected. That's usually how crashes happen. They happen fast, and the tide changes very abruptly.
Right, but they won't allow you a Robinhood right now. If I wanted to go buy AMC options.
I'm not talking about meme stocks, though. I'm talking about just the entire.
Oh, if it's not if it's a regular stock, yeah, you can use your margin. It's all about the margin maintenance.
Yeah, no, I know.
And AMC's is 100%, and so is GME.
Guys don't seem to have the liquidity that they need in order to operate.
I don't know what's going on with Robinhood, but it sounds like they're trying to rob the hood.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're more like, the
guy's picture alone just shows like, what a fucking douchebag he really is.
They're more like the sheriff of Nottingham.
I'll never forget his interview, like trying to explain it. And they were like, wait a minute. Like, you're telling me that you wouldn't let your traders trade these stocks because, it was putting you guys in a vulnerable position. Well, you can't do that. Like, and that's why they got sued.
Well, they're getting sued by a whole bunch of class action lawsuits, and then the SEC hit them with a big fine. But anyway, while we're talking about going to the moon, Richard Branson is going to be sent into space on July 11th.
I have my hands in the air, TIZZ fam. I really do. Because
you've heard of 9/11? This is what we call 7/11.
Wait, why?
Because they're launching him into space July 11th.
Oh shit! I didn't catch that. I gotta say, so I'm not a bragger by any means. I am a day trader, swing trader, option trader, whatever. SBC Virgin Galactic is a company I do believe in. But I'm more of a guy like that holds stocks on a different platform like TD. But when I trade options, I do it on Robinhood or like Webull or whatever. But it doesn't matter. What happened was, I'll make this brief and short. Last week, Thursday of last week, which would have been the 24th of June. I don't know. I decided to get into SPC, which is Virgin Galactic, because I saw a good day trade opportunity on some options. Well, it didn't go in my favor. And I sold some of my positions, but I kept some of them. The next day I woke up and the FAA had given Virgin Galactic, SPC, the first go ahead to be the first company to bring, retail or regular human beings like us into space. And the stock went parabolic. I woke up the next morning and my option calls were expiring that same day, but they were up like 2,000% or 5,000%. I don't even know. Okay. But at the same time, SpaceX, Elon Musk, they did their launch this week. And I thought, it might be a good time to get back into Virgin Galactic because it's a space race. And if one does well and the other does well, like they should go up. Well, I was wrong. SBC Virgin Galactic today went down bad. Like it wasn't working in my favor. And I just like, whatever. And then around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Central Time, I just happened to glance at the chart and SPCE did it was like deja vu. It did it again. It was up 25%. and after hours, and I'm holding all these calls. So tomorrow morning, unless some crazy shit happens, and the reason why it went up, by the way, is because they claim that Richard Branson is going to be the first billionaire in space before Bezos. And the stock just went parabolic after hours, meaning my options are going to open up huge tomorrow.
So Bezos is scheduled to launch on July 20th alongside his brother, as well as the winner of a $28 million public auction and legendary aerospace pioneer Wally Funk. So Bezos is actually going to launch into space. Richard Branson's about to launch into space. That is a lot of money getting launched into space in the next 3 weeks. And it's kind of interesting, like, you know, especially with Richard Branson, because his planes have had problems. They had a lot of problems getting to
he sold Virgin. I mean, he sold Virgin Airlines. Alaska Airlines owns them now, and you know how I know that?
Well, I know. I'm saying Virgin Galactic has had a lot of problems getting to this point right now, and they just kind of had like their first successful test flights, and the FAA gives them clearance, and now Richard Branson's flying into space in like a week and a half. So,
I mean, there was one piece of good news last week at this exact same time, which I was in the positions on option calls, unknowingly knowing that the FAA was going to grant that, and it went parabolic, and I made a good amount of money. And then today I was down a lot, like $2,000, almost $1,500, just on all the positions I was in. And then I saw SPCE, Virgin Galactic, go up like 30% within an hour period in the after hours markets. I said, what the fuck? They were down. And what ended up happening was Richard Branson is basically the confirmed first billionaire to fly into space before Bezos.
Yeah,
is what they're saying.
I mean, they're going to the very edge of space. Like, it's not like they're going into.
They're not going to the moon.
But,
well, the stock might go to the moon.
But. Yeah, the stock already has basically. But
well, I went to the moon, came back down. Now it looks like it's gone back.
So Blue Origin's going to take off to space July 20th, which is kind of funny. 9 days later, they're going to be launching off. Somebody bid $28 million in an auction to be the first one to go up there with Jeff Bezos. The winning bidder, whose name it won't be released, so he got privately won this auction, and nobody knows who it is.
I wouldn't want anyone to know that. I wouldn't want anybody to know if it was me.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what he's expecting. You know, does he get to sit next to Bezos? Does he, like, how does this work exactly? But Bezos and his brother launching into space, I find that to be a more fascinating story than anything, because the world's richest man is going to be taking what should be. I mean,
he's not the richest man anymore. It's Elon Musk.
Whatever, close enough. I'd say the world's most solidly rich man. I mean, yeah, Elon Musk's value goes up and down with wild swings. Like Jeff Bezos' stock is a lot more solid than.
Well, I mean, the guy sits on the board of directors at Amazon. He doesn't own it anymore, but he owns a majority of it.
Yeah, well, he's the biggest shareholder, just like Elon Musk. He doesn't own all the shares either. But point being, it's kind of amazing that the world's.
Oh, by the way, Tesla went down when SpaceX went up.
You mean Blue Origin and space?
No, SpaceX, right? That's SpaceX.
The SpaceX has nothing to do with Tesla's stock, unfortunately.
No, but I'm just saying, I know it doesn't. They're not related, but Tesla's stock dropped.
Yeah, that's interesting.
After the fact.
That is interesting.
I thought that was, you would have thought that it would have gone up because it's Elon. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
We don't need to harp too much on all this stock bullshit. All we wanted to get across is TIZZ fam. The space travel for the average, okay, maybe average is not the right word. Space travel for the people who can afford it is not too far away.
Yeah.
And I'm just riding the stock waves on it. I'd love to go to space, but for 20 seconds, nah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And
now I want to go to space. Like I want to go to fucking Jupiter, dude.
So July 20th is actually the 52nd anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. So that's why Bezos picked July 20th. Branson, I think, picked July 11th because it's as soon as he can launch and still get off before Bezos does.
Like I said, man, it's a space race. It's like the 60s all over again.
It's like the Russians versus the Americans. Yeah,
exactly. Sputnik versus NASA. Well, enough on that shit. We talk about that shit too much.
And this time, Stanley Kubrick won't have to make the film for it.
Yeah, 1984 or 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, like we touched on Robin Hood, we touched on all that and SpaceX and all that, but did we already talk about Trump?
Nah, man.
So Trump's got some shit going on, and I'll pull these articles up. I sent them to you too, but. So here's the deal with Trump right now. Trump, I don't, it'll never make total sense to me, but for being, the kind of guy he is. And when was the last time we actually heard his voice?
He had a rally, I think, a little bit, or not like a rally, but he had like a little thing. It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. So this title is from Vice News. Republicans' plan to punish Facebook for blocking Trump has failed. Quote unquote, this is an instance of burning the house to roast a pig. The judge said, sorry, my cursor was in the way. The judge said as he struck down the Florida law. So there's more articles behind this, but basically Trump's under a lawsuit right now.
Well, no, he's got more than that going on. So Trump, we're getting off on the less interesting story. So right now, the prosecutors charged Trump Organization with a 15-year tax scheme. Basically, it ranges tax fraud, conspiracy, falsifying business records. So that's basically lying to banks. And they've charged the Trump Organization and its CFO, Alan Weisselberg, with a 15-year alleged tax scheme that marked the first criminal case against the former president's namesake company. An indictment unsealed Thursday by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office charged the company and an entity called Trump Payroll Corporation with 10 counts, and Weisselberg himself, the CFO, with 15 felony counts in connection with an alleged scheme stretching back to 2005 to compensate Weisselberg and other Trump Organization executives in a manner that was off the books, quote unquote. They were charged with a scheme to defraud, conspiracy, criminal tax fraud, and falsifying business records. He was also charged with grand larceny and offering a false instrument for filing. So basically, the probe is delving into whether the Trump Organization misled lenders, which is huge. People go to jail for that all the time. A lot of like, what do you call them? Like these reality TV stars. A couple of them have gone to jail for this. Like, they love getting people on this, but they misled lenders, insurers, and tax authorities about the values of certain properties, treatment of tax deductions, hush money payments to silence an alleged affair with Trump. So basically that's misappropriation of funds, all kinds of things. So basically as this thing crumbles, you would expect Trump to get more and more enveloped in it. Whereas right now they're just going after kind of the second in command, which would be the CFO. And you got to expect that Trump, A, had knowledge of all this, and then B, could potentially get wrapped into this as well. So pretty big news, you know what I mean?
It's huge. And the other article says Republicans plan to punish Facebook for blocking Trump's has failed.
Yeah, but I think that was like from when he was, just lost, right? Like after he lost, Facebook and Twitter blocked him.
Yeah, like he's not getting. Apparently, he ain't getting it back.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, that's like a small.
Not anytime soon, at least.
Yeah, so I would say, Trump's got some problems here. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It's been a couple years investigation. We will see. Keep your eyes on this one big time, because this has a lot of potential to turn into a huge story, especially if Trump ends up getting, having to go to court over this type of thing. I mean, that would be unprecedented for a former U.S. president to be facing criminal charges of tax fraud. I mean,
if there's gonna be one president, it would be him.
Yeah, it would, for sure.
It really would.
Yeah. This guy has worked. Weisselberg has worked with Donald Trump since 1973, so they go way back. So obviously where there's smoke, there's probably fire. And if you've been working with a guy for, over 40 years, then there's a good chance, actually almost 50 years, there's a good chance that you're in cahoots with the guy. So
shout out Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Was that a little too much?
Well, I mean, you talk about guys that go way back. I'm sure Weisselberg goes back with Epstein too. We'll see. But yeah, keep your eyes on this. It's a little surprising. They were acting like Trump was going to be part of this indictment. So far, it's just the Trump organization, which everything with Trump is always like anything he talks about, you can generally, anything he like points the finger at other people for doing, you can kind of know that he does that himself. Like he's the classic little kid, calling somebody out for doing what he does all the time, right? Like all the Clinton Foundation fraud and all that. Well, Trump organization looks like it's been dealing in fraud for quite some time here. So we'll see what comes of it.
Well, I mean, look, I just think it's funny that we haven't really heard from him.
Yeah, no, I mean he's been quiet as a church mouse. I mean he's. I think the presidency was important to him for personal reasons. When you're president, you can't really be charged with with any of these kinds of things. And so that's why it was so important for him to win, is because, man, if he lost, I think he kind of knew there was more coming down the pipe that he might get screwed over for. So we'll see. I personally never thought he was going to get wrapped up in a court case or thrown in jail. I still don't. But, a lot of people swore he was.
He was like, impeached like what, 2-3 times, but never was actually fully impeached.
Well, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like a lot of people since were saying if Trump lost, he was going to go to jail and this and that and the other. And I'm like, I still don't think that's going to happen just because it looks too bad. But this is one major step closer to him facing like actual real charges of something potentially. So,
yeah, it really is. Well, enough with Trump. It's time for announcements and shouts. I got to give a shout out to my homie who is no longer with us, Anthony Torrey. Miss you, buddy. Happy 40th birthday. We also have my buddy Thomas White. Turning 41 on the 27th of June. So we're a little behind on that one. We got Will Carey. Will Carey from high school. Happy motherfucking birthday. Your birthday is tomorrow. And he is turning 35 years old. And same with our boy B. Welds. Brian Martin turned 35 tomorrow. Now he's in Miami right now. I just talked to him earlier. And then happy Independence Day to everybody. And don't take this day for granted. You know, I mean, like, have fun and everything, but realize there is a reason for this holiday.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't treat it like that.
You know, it's about freedom. And, you know, here's another shout out of freedom. You know, depending on how you feel about it, I don't think many people feel good about it, but Bill Cosby's out of jail, man.
I was just about to say that. Because we talked about this earlier. You know, he denied to get out of jail because he didn't want to go to treatment. And then he got acquitted. And man, there are a lot of pissed off individuals. I'll just call them that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, here, let me pull the art. Let me pull the article real quick, because I mean, I know about it, but let's get a little in depth on Cosby here, because, you know, no more Jello jokes because they off pudding. Okay, Cosby.
He's kind of like, the closest thing we have to. He's kind of like the new OJ, like everybody, Public Enemy.
Yeah, I mean, on BBC, they're saying.
Well, Bill Cosby was asleep in his prison cell when he learned he was being free. Plans to spend time with his wife. Basically, Bill Cosby struggles. You know, this is like kind of pointless news here, but the Bill Cosby has not been able to get much sleep since he got out of prison. He doesn't want to go to sleep. He's afraid this is a nightmare. He thinks he's going to wake up. It's kind of like the old Chang Chu.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Here we go. Accusers speak of shock and anger after conviction overturned.
It's Bill Cosby feels like Chang Chu right now. Is he Chang Chu that dreamed he was a butterfly, or is he a butterfly that dreamed he was Chang Chu?
I don't know. You might have to ask a fucking Jedi about that one.
Well, Bill feels like he might go to sleep and realize he just woke up and he's still in jail.
I mean, it's just, look, real quick, 5 sentences. U.S. comedian Bill Cosby released from prison after his sexual assault conviction was overturned. Okay, overturned, and has led to an outpouring of anger and shock. That doesn't shock me. Let me continue. His 2018 conviction for drugging and molesting ex-basketball player Adriana Constant, whatever, was overturned on Wednesday of this past week. The judge or judges said there had been a process violation by the prosecution, but admitted their ruling was unusual. Yeah, I mean, basically, what that sounds like, it's a mistrial.
Well, what happened was, and see, they do this to people, you know, and I know, cops and DAs lie all the time, and nobody gets a mistrial because of it. Now, there must be some friends in high places here, but what happened was the original DA.
I got friends in low places like Garth Brooks.
Yeah, Cosby's got friends in low and high places, but Cosby said to his...
But ain't no Garth Brooks, because Garth Brooks sucks too, though, bro, by the way.
All right, well, Cosby basically...
Because I hate the new shit.
The DA said to Cosby that he wasn't going to pursue charges, and he had basically Cosby do like sort of like a deposition or like an interview where Cosby admitted that he had sexually, you know, assaulted and drugged this woman. So he admitted he did it. It's not like he's innocent. But since that DA told him that he wouldn't pursue charges, when a new DA came into power, he went after Cosby And so they're saying that since the original DA said that he wasn't going to go after him,
that's right.
That's what got Cosby off. Now, guys, for normal people out there, this would never have been overturned, even if you had a lawyer that argued the same case. Like, see, law isn't about who argues the best. It's about who your lawyer knows, who they play golf with, and all that kind of stuff. Because this is just interesting that you would. But so Cosby's out, man. Maybe he'll start hanging out with like Tekashi 6ix9ine and just trolling everybody.
And he might color his hair like a rainbow.
Yeah, I think that would be funny if he just started trolling hardcore.
Do you really think he'd do that? No.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying it would be,
hilarious. Because you guys called me out one time that I was the TIZZ, not like Taylor, like Tekashi. You're like, oh yeah, the TIZZ had his hair dyed and everything. I was like, fuck you guys. That was back in the archive episode. But yeah, so Cosby's out, guys. We talked about this,
Cover your drinks. Cover your drinks. Cover your.
Yeah, I mean, Mary Beth, watch the fuck out.
Ooh, what exactly are you getting at?
Cover your fucking drink with a napkin, Mary Beth.
Damn. All right, man. Damn.
That's not a real name. You know that, right?
No, it's not. Okay.
I'll tell you on off record.
Yeah, old Cosby, man. He's he's chilling at his house, chilling with his wife. I guess his wife kind of stood tall with him. She didn't mind that he was drugging and with the drugging and the assaulting and with the dirt and the jello. Oh.
No more Jello joke because they off-putting, okay?
That was a terrible Cosby impression from me, but that was. But
it was still good, though. It was still a good one.
Pill and the Jello, and then the.
Real quick. Let me give a quick shout out to the last sponsor I have right now. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors over at Anchor.fm.
It's the TIZZ Talk Podcast. It's the TIZZ Talk Podcast.
Thank you, Anchor, again for everything you do for us. But back to the show real quick. I just want, we have plenty of articles, but I kind of want to talk about what happened with the NBA, the Suns, and what's going on.
Yeah, Chris Paul. I gained a lot of respect for Chris Paul. Man, he was pretty gangster. He was just showing out, man. He's the oldest player to ever close out two series in the playoffs with over 30 points. Surpassed Michael Jordan, it was like nothing but the best list. It was like Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Hakeem Olajuwon. It was just like the who's who of like the pinnacle of NBA, and he's like the oldest one now to have done that. He was.
It's great. The Suns
stared down Patrick Beverly, and then Patrick Beverly pushed him in the back. Man, Patrick Beverly's a piece of shit, by the way, for anybody.
He's like, he don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Apparently, this is some he said, she said, but Larry knew a guy that lived in Patrick Beverly's apartment complex, like condo, downtownish kind of area.
Yeah.
And he said he would just hear screaming between him and his girlfriend, and bad things were going on in the Beverly apartment.
Does that surprise you?
No, not with the way he carries himself on the court. No, it doesn't really.
The Suns have not been to the NBA Finals Last time they were there was in 1993. They lost. The time before that it was in 1976. Now the Bucks. Now the Suns are going. Now the Bucks have to. They still got to face the. They're still tied up with the Hawks. Or wait, what happened tonight?
The Bucks won game 3, so that's going to go into more games.
What are they at between the two?
It's 3-2. Bucks are up 3. Atlanta Hawks have 2 wins. So
they actually knucked and bucked.
Well, they got to close it out, but yeah. Now
tonight they did.
Tonight they're good. Yeah, they knucked, and Atlanta tried to knuck, and the Bucks held strong, man. And they played without Giannis tonight too, so pretty impressive.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Atlanta's missing Trae Young, so they're both missing their best players right now, which is kind of interesting. But it's been a long time for the Suns. I'm rooting for the Suns. I hope they win, man.
As soon as the Blazers are done, I was Suns all day.
Yeah, I was. I knew Denver wasn't going to do it because they're missing one of their best players, but I like the Nuggets. I think next year they're going to be the team to beat, but it's fucking Suns, man.
Well, here's an article I want to talk about real quick, and then we're going to cut it. And I want to talk about this for a specific reason. It has to go back to Police Chief Asa fucking Vado, ex-police chief of Houston, now in Miami. But the title of this article is Black Grandfather Shot by Cops in His Own House During a No-Knock Raid.
Oh, he's doing this shit again.
Don Clark Sr. No, I'm not saying this is Acevedo, but Acevedo was all about the no-knock raids.
Yeah.
Don Clark Sr. was 63 when he was killed by police the other day. He was just sitting on his couch. And I don't need to read the article because it's already depressing enough. But basically, this is what Police Chief Houston, H-Town, fucking Police Chief Acevedo, who is no longer with us. He moved to Miami, and good riddance, Miami. But he was all about the no-knock raids.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up that a 3-year-old grandfather was murdered, basically, for no reason. Because of a no-knock raid.
Art Acevedo moves to Miami and buildings start just fucking collapsing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is
that was something else I wanted to talk about. I mean, like, they had to call that search off. Now, apparently they turned it back on, like, since we've been talking. But, I mean, they said 11 dead in a condo. Not to sound like a piece of shit, but I guarantee you there is a lot more missing, like, not alive humans in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 12, 13, 14, 15 story building that completely collapsed with people like living in their spaces.
Yeah. You think you're better off being in the bottom floor or the top floor when that happens?
Ooh, that's a good question. It depends if you hear it coming, if you're on the bottom floor. If you're on the top floor and you don't, and you're just riding it down, you could get lucky.
I think it depends if you're sleeping on a spring or a Tempur-Pedic.
I can't agree with that one. Yeah, because what? Because if you're at Tempur-Pedic, it's like, the pillow just floats still.
Yeah, you've seen that where the wine glass doesn't even tip over when they drop the bowling ball in there. I mean, that's got to help, a little bit.
I think it helps your chances, but, you have a piece of huge, like, concrete fall on your face. I don't know how long you're going to live through that. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. And no, like, rest in peace to anybody. It's just crazy. I mean, like, that building was probably built 30, 40 years ago. Probably wasn't up to code. I think they actually admitted it was not up to code.
Yeah, it was supposed to be getting inspected again and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's been on and on. It's been like a point of contention for a little while, and they kind of just let it go.
I mean, that blows my mind. It's just like, I mean, if you're going to build a structure that, you know, is that high with that many people, like, you know, their livelihoods are inside a unit, you know, if it falls, like, I mean, I would be pretty furious if I saw, you know, one of my guys that having to get hurt in that building, like having to go to court for some bullshit that, because you know how these people operate. I mean, they'll do anything to like take it off their hands.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, that's all I'm saying. It's a fucked up situation, is what it is. I think that's the conclusion of what I'm trying to say. Other than that, guys, I mean, we're trying to come up with a recurring segment. Like we want to do something unique, but at the same time, not take what someone else has maybe closely done. Working on that part. I don't know. Send the nudes seems like one that should stick around. We just gotta do our research, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, I mean, that's just where I'm at, man. I mean, that's where I'm at right now in life. And actually, life is good. Life is good. You know, I always like to touch on mental health for like 2 seconds, because I opened up to all of you about my experience like 3 weeks ago, and that was something I've never felt before. But you know what? But since then, and imagine me having the basketball and I got to pass it, okay, to my some of my family members, and they just kind of like, you know, bounce it back and it hits me in the face. I want to fix this shit, and I tried, and I got shut down. So I refuse now to pick up the phone and continue to try. The ball is in their court. Am I wrong, Chuck, about that statement?
No, I'd say the ball is in their court, man.
Right, because as long as I've tried, whether I'm shut down or what, so the ball's in their court. I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm not, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. Actually, this is probably the most successful financially and just creatively through a podcast, making music, trading stocks, and selling like commercial real estate. 2021 has already started off to be pretty fucking good comparatively to 2020. 2020 was like the worst.
Yeah.
Like for me, like it was so bad. But
I had a good 2020, but
I had a decent 2020, but like I'm talking like a regular year.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now 2021 is like 3-4 times the amount.
This kind of ties into two of our stories. So you talked about mental health, and we talked about Hot Girl Summer. Well, the judge denied Britney Spears' request to have her father removed from her conservatorship. So
wait, from her what?
Conservatorship. Judge denies Britney Spears' request to have her father removed from her conservatorship.
And conservatorship means what? Like her fucking
you haven't heard of the Free Britney movement? So Britney Spears has been like,
I mean, do you think I'm the kind of person who pays attention to that kind of shit?
Well, this has been like a pretty decent sized story. So anyways,
for the past 10 years and stuff.
So
and it's like, no. Like in the past week, I've seen her all over YouTube.
So Britney Spears for the past, for a long, long time has been under the watch and jurisdiction of a conservatorship. So she doesn't have control over money. She doesn't have control basically over anything she does. She's kind of like the modern day Elvis. Like they just make her perform. She didn't even want to move to Vegas to do her show there. And they just made her move there, make her do shows. She doesn't get to have any of the money. Her dad runs it and just basically treats her like a freaking workhorse. So she filed court to try to get control of her conservators, back control of her own assets and her life. And I guess the judge shot it down. And I just don't really understand how a grown adult can not have control of her own shit unless she's just like absolutely off the rails all the time. But
well, they always take like the cell phones and shit.
Yeah,
unless you follow the shut the fuck up Fridays.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, but you would never hand them your phone in that instance. But
but anyways, I just thought mental health, it kind of tied in, to what you're talking about a little bit. But
well, no, I did. And I like to always like end it with like a few sentences. I mean, like Mental Health Awareness Month was, May, but as who said this best? Brian. B. Wells. He said every month should be, and it's true. And I sort of dealt with it for the first time in my life, like 2 weeks ago. Like I didn't know. It was weird. It was weird, and but yeah, it's all good. But just all I'm saying is just like TIZZ fam, take care of yourself. It's a rough world we live out there. Like people will take advantage of you, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in the market, whether it's in the drug market, whether you're playing at fucking Call of Duty. I don't care.
Well, I think that, I think the one major thing about mental health is guys, like, you got to be able to have an honest conversation with yourself, and I think that people don't take the time out to just, be alone, think about things.
It might be for two reasons. One, they just like think it's too expensive and they don't want to pay for it. One, two, falls where I fall. Every time I get into a conversation with any type of advice or authority that's applied to me, I usually, don't handle it as correctly as I should.
Sure. But that's what I'm saying is like, you got to have an honest conversation with yourself. That's free.
Right. No, and I have. And I think you've seen it and noticed it over the past, 14 months?
Yeah. But I mean, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? What, who are you? What do you want? What makes you happy? What makes you?
Are you asking me? Is this an irrelevant question?
The conversations that people that are working on their mental health need to ask themselves.
Oh, I didn't know if you were directing it towards me directly.
Well, whoever needs to hear it, whoever wants to talk to themselves, because you can have a real honest conversation with yourself, guys, if you just allow yourself to be honest, and
just smoke a little weed and then you'll really have a conversation.
Quit being defensive with yourself. Yeah. It's like I think a lot of times we put up these walls and we try to, put on a show. Don't put people on a pedestal. Yeah. And we put ourselves in a show, for others. And when you have
it all the time. I got to do it at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
So when you have your alone time, you got to not run away from that, not shy away from it. You need to have honest conversations with yourself and, set a course that you want to travel on. And none of us give it our best all the time, but you want to at least feel like you're moving in the right direction, or else that's when you really start feeling bogged down, I think,
I think a lot of people have trouble figuring out what the right direction is.
Well, if you're unhappy, the right direction doesn't need to be focused on anything except for what do you actually want? What makes you happy? What can you do that,
makes you a living and also makes you happy?
Yeah. And what's the smallest?
That's a tough one, though. That's a tough thing to answer.
What's the smallest step you can take to move in the right direction? I don't care how small it is. You got to.
Well, I guess it depends on the situation, but, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, mean, that's a tough one, dude. It really is.
And it shouldn't be. It is tough. I'm going to concede that it is, but it shouldn't be tough. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of life that, you can kind of end up not knowing what makes you happy, what you want to do, what you've been doing that maybe if you can't think of what makes you happy, think about what you're doing in life, maybe that helps lead to more unhappiness, and try to avoid that at the very least, or at least change some of those things that aren't good to be more positive. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, that's a good point. Honestly, I mean,
but TIZZ is feeling good in 2021. Ball is in.
I mean, I'm feeling good. I just, I'm recovering from 2020. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I have no problem in that. 2020 sucked for my business.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But 2021 has started off actually, pretty good for me. I mean, a lot of the ones that got put on hold, they're coming back around, just close a nice deal. And, I've been doing decent in the stock market, and I'm not bragging about that. It's just something I've learned in the past 12 months that, I mean, I've made more, I'm not going to lie, I hate to say this, but I've made more money literally in the past 7 to 14 days than I have in a month. Well, minus the deal on camera, but in 20, 15 years, 10 years, I don't know. Young. Does that not hurt?
What?
I know. Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. I could hear my neighbor falling into a bush. So not good. Anyways, TIZZ fan. What's that?
Is it a dude or a chick, your neighbor?
I don't know.
I was going to say, we got carried away with Hot Girl Summer or Hot Boy Summer, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's more like that. You wanted to talk about strip clubs. Was there something specific about that?
Well, just misconceptions. I think women have misconceptions of what goes on in these places, but we'll touch that next episode.
I think we covered some good topics tonight. I mean, there was a few that I think we skipped over, but honest. So my personal Instagram is the only way you can find me. I mean, you might be lucky if you find me on Facebook, but Chuck_Taco, TACCO is my main page. But the podcast also gets posted on the TIZZ with 2 Z's podcast.com. Anyways, TIZZ fan, again, thank you for joining us for this show. Please do your duties. Go to our podcast, give us 5-star rating, right? Like a 1-sentence review, give a thumbs up, whatever they're offering. We greatly appreciate it. At the same time, I'm being quiet for a second because you realize it has been a full 6 months from today of this year. God, time goes by so fast.
Yeah, man, it has gone by real fucking quick.
I mean, it felt like it was like 2 weeks ago they were storming the Capitol.
Yeah, that's true. When was that anyway?
January. It's fucking July.
Yeah, it is pretty wild, man.
That which brings me back to the whole point. It's fucking summer. I mean, it's officially summer, guys.
Do you have a TIZZ Talk email that listeners can email?
That's what I was. Thank you for asking that question. Yes. So, guys, there's several ways you can contact me. TIZZ Talk, TIZZTALK @gmail.com. That's the email, right? Then you have the Instagram handle, which is the TIZZ Talk Podcast. The TIZZ Talk Podcast, all one word.
Well, I'll say this, if anybody's got any feedback or even ideas for segments, feel free to email the TIZZ and let us.
No, that's the beauty of it. Thank you for even bringing that up. But no, I'm serious. I took that from Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is sort of like I watched Steve over from Jackass, who does the podcast, and he interviewed Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban said something during the show that really like caught my attention. You know me, I like to talk. I'll fucking just yap, whatever. But Mark Cuban doesn't believe in gold. And he's a very high, crypto investor. And I think right now he is at his buying point, which makes me want to throw in some more, but I shouldn't. Sam, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We don't keep track of episodes anymore because what's the fucking point? But honestly, I do appreciate everything that all of y'all have done for me. And I love having Toowoketogobroke on the show. And it's July 1st, and it's actually, pretty much the official day of summer. Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it with what I usually leave it at. Because, man, get your fucking mind correct. Like, if you're struggling, whatever, get your mind correct. Get it correct. Once you get it correct, keep it correct. Because that's the hardest part. It really is, to keep things connected. If you can make it over that hurdle. So the TIZZ has 2 things to say. Thank you for tuning into the TIZZ Talk Podcast episode. I don't know. The TIZZ doesn't ask why. The TIZZ asks why not. And the answer to that question is why not?
Mm.
That's all I got tonight. TIZZ Talk. Chucktizz is signing out unless Toowoketogobroke has any last words he has to say.
Nah, man, just didn't that. That's it.
Didn't that, dude. I fucking loved it. Didn't that. It's like one of the best lines because it basically means anything. But I mean, it's a treat, though. I mean, right? It's like it's a nut, didn't that. Like, so I love that line. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of the TIZZ Talk Podcast. I am your host, Chucktizz. We will be back shortly within the next 7 to 10 days with some more heat to drop on you. And we might potentially have an episode for you. It's a possibility. Don't take my word for it, but you'll still get some audio regardless. Other than that, thanks again for listening. Toowoketogobroke, my man, my co-host, thank you so much on a Thursday evening. Taking your time to do this. Let's get this thing rocking, man. And I'll let you go. You have a good night. I'm going to go drink this rum zacata and see if I have any food in the fridge. I don't know. I might have to edit that out a little bit. Anyways, all right. I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
Yeah, man.
Later, buddy. TIZZ Talk Podcast.